Hey there, welcome to Multimedia 110, Visual Communications Design. I'm Curtis Stage, and today we're going to do a demo in Canva. So Canva is an online design program. It's an app that you can use right in your browser. It's really great. And so you could use, for this infographic, you could use Photoshop or Illustrator if you know those two, or GIMP. But what I love about Canva is it has some pre-made templates already built in. So, to get us going with infographics, I think even if you're a designer, this is a good place to start, just to give you some kind of layout techniques. Of course, before you do this tutorial, before you follow along with this, you have to have watched the 3 videos that I uploaded to modules in the lecture area. Those were videos that somebody else did, but I thought they were really great on infographics and how to get started. And then, of course, we have our reading on infographics. You have to read that. And so this will get you kind of going in the right direction after you've kind of done those already. All right, so first thing you're going to want to do, step 1, of course, is to make an account on canva.com. It's really easy. You just go to the web address canva.com. You can sign in with a Google account, so you don't have to worry about a new password or anything like that. And once you're in, of course, you'll have an account, and you should kind of come to this page, right? It's going to ask you, what do you want to design? If you don't see this page, let's say if I click off this, it may have something like this. Hey, do you want to do an Instagram post? By the way, Canva is very close to Adobe Spark. They're very similar. Adobe makes a program like this too. So you could also use Adobe Spark, although Adobe Spark does not have infographic panels, templates, which this does, which is really great. Adobe Spark has Instagram templates and Facebook templates and poster templates, but it does not have this. This also has presentation templates. So some of you guys who are going to be doing presentations, let's say in PowerPoint or Keynote, you could make your presentation slides in Canva and then import them in to Keynote or PowerPoint. I really love this program. It's really great, and there is a paid version of it, of course. You don't need that. Most of the stuff that you're going to do is going to be free. You don't need the paid version. All right, so here's the free version. It says right here you can cut, and paid version does all kinds of things, right? If you go to upgrade, you can see what all that does. But for the most part, you could do a lot of things in here just with this free version, which is great. So I could click create a design and start stuff by scratch, but I'm going to go here, and you can see that I've already searched for infographics. So what's great is infographic already has, this is kind of a standard size for the web, 800 by 2000. If you're going to be doing this in Illustrator or Photoshop, you're going to want that size, or GIMP. You're going to want this size for your graphic. Again, I would do it here first before you do it in one of those programs. All right, so I'm going to click that, and what it's going to do is going to give me kind of now a design area. And what's great is it has some templates over here to the side. Now, before we get started with all this, of course, you'll need to pick your topic that you're going to create your infographic on. Mine is going to be on Bob Dylan songs. And so what I've done is I've found my data. So first thing you want to do with whatever topic you want to pick, and you're making 2 infographics on 2 separate topics. So one could be on the environment, let's say, about how efficient would it be to rake the forests. That's a little joke there. So you could make something on the environment, or on traffic, LA traffic, or you can make it on music. So I'm making mine on Bob Dylan, his top songs that he's played in concert. And then I'm going to compare that data to the most played songs by him on Spotify and see if those jive. And then this infographic will kind of display that. So you can see that I've got some templates over here. There's not going to be any Bob Dylan templates, by the way. There's not going to be any here. And I can open and close this down. So this essentially is templates right here. You see on the left-hand side, very easy to use. So on the left-hand side, that little template bar is where I start with. So if I close this down, that closes the whole thing, gives me more of a design view. So I'm going to open the templates back up because I will start with a template. But before I do that, I want to have a folder with some images. So you'll see on my computer I have this folder, and I put all the albums that I'm going to need, the album covers for this infographic. So for me, it was very important because I'm doing his songs off of these albums. So I went and grabbed those off Google and I saved them in a folder. The data that I have is coming from, Bob Dylan's website himself. He's got his website with his songs that he's played. Here's his most played songs. I just essentially, how many times has he played these live in concert, right? And when was the first time and when's the last time? It's pretty awesome. And he's got hundreds and hundreds of songs, but you can tell his most popular songs. So I'm going to be using that. So I essentially have two forms of data. I have one form of data, the album tracks that are the most played tracks. And then I have the Spotify data. So if I open up my Spotify, you can see that Spotify gives me data right here. So you can collect your data from wherever you want on whatever subject you want, but you're going to want to have some form of data. So have that ready to go for your infographic. So I have my data ready to go. Have your graphics ready to go. So I have those ready to go. In fact, you can upload your graphics right in here. You can see that I've already uploaded my graphics to my folder. So it's there in my account. I've also uploaded an image that I created here. So I've got that. This is a drawing that I made of Dylan. It's going to be my background. We'll get to that in a minute. So once you have your stuff uploaded, your images, and any design elements that you want to create, and you can use their backgrounds if you want. They have all kinds of backgrounds. So let's go back here to templates first. So I'm going to start off with a template. Now, I'm doing kind of his top 10 songs that he's played live. So I'm kind of looking for something that's going to be kind of a list type thing. So here I can see one that's got a list right there. I basically just need something that I like the numbers and I don't necessarily need the colors so much, but maybe something that has some graphic elements already. So these have graphic elements. I could replace those with my photos. So I'm gonna do this bike safety. It has nothing to do with Bob Dylan at all, right? But I could see that I could kind of do, if I don't have top 10, I could do top 6. I could add to this probably, but I may just do top 6. So anyway, so I've got this here. So I don't want any of this stuff except for I like the layout here. So first thing I'm going to do is bring my background picture in. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to my uploads here. I'd already uploaded that. There's my picture. It's there. I'm going to expand it so it's bigger, right? So I'm just going to expand this out and get it so it fits in there. And it's okay if some of it cuts off. All right, I'm just going to kind of pick a nice thing right there. So something like that. So that's all nice. Now, of course, it's covering over everything. So if I go here to position, I can say send to the back. Perfect. That's awesome. I can also go here to adjust, and there's some adjustments on this picture. I really like this, right? I can adjust the contrast, right? And for me, kind of taking down the brightness and contrast a little bit, so my data will show up a little bit better is going to be kind of good. So maybe I take down the brightness or bring it up, but I think down a little lower on the brightness, and kind of take the contrast out. It's going to make it just a hint of Dylan drawing in the back. So I'm bringing my contrast all the way down. You can see if I bring my contrast up, right, the relationship between light and dark, it gets really black and really white. I want it to be very gray. So this is the way to kind of get it gray. I don't want to tint it here, but you may have an image that you put in the background that you want to tint. Now again, I have an image that I drew of Bob Dylan, so I had that. That was good. You may not have an image. You could create one if you're one of my multimedia students. You can create something specifically for your infographic. If you're not a multimedia student, you could use any of their backgrounds or have a plain background. Either way, however you're going to do it for your 2 infographics, but I would experiment and have fun with putting a background in there. All right, so now I've got my picture in the back, so that's good. All this is great. I'm going to go back now, click off this, click on something else here. Well, I can bring all my pictures in. So I have to look at my data. First of all, I'm going to say, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, don't want to move this around. I can undo if I have to. Just want to zoom around here. That's this little, oops, that goes full screen, sorry. Just want to zoom around on here, so let's see how I can do that. There I go. I just moved the mouse up. There is no space bar in here. So I'm in closer so I can see this. So I'm going to start with this text right here, and I don't mind the red. I might, kind of do some other stuff here and not have the red in here. So I'm going to say Bob Dylan. I'm going to say, let's see, it's his. What am I going to call this infographic? I'm going to say Bob Dylan. Okay, so probably I'm going to call this infographic most played songs, something like that. It looks okay like that, but maybe I keep the Bob Dylan by itself. So get rid of this and make that bigger maybe. So kind of cruise here, make this a little bigger. Maybe I'll put the most played songs right there, right? So most, oops, let me get that in there, most played. Or I could do comparison of, comparison. No, I like most played songs. I'm going to do that. It'll just be. Okay, so this needs to get bigger, and I want to stick to kind of the same fonts, not use a whole bunch of fonts. I'm using a lot of my principles and elements of design, so I want to be really careful with how many different fonts that I use here. So you can see you can change your font and things like that. My spacing, if I kind of you can do this, you can kind of like do that, get that going. So just, you can mess around with this kind of thing a little bit so you can see what this kind of does. Okay, so this is all one graphic too, and I don't really like that spacing within that graphic. I could kind of do this, but it doesn't really, and you can see how you could turn it, right? It doesn't do me any good. So maybe the most played songs doesn't go there. Maybe I put a new text in there and just leave this here and get that bigger. And I like the red. I think the red's kind of cool. Make that bigger like that. Okay, so kind of nice. So there's that. If I go to click text here, I can add a text box. So I'm over here on the side. I want to add the most played songs myself. I'm not going to use any of their things, but you can see they have templates for things like this, like percentages and stuff. And I'm just going to kind of, I don't think I need any of these. I don't see anything in particular that's, could do that, but that's too much going on. You can see that a lot of these are free. When you upgrade, you get a lot more possibilities here. All right, so I'm just going to add a text box and call this most, puts it in the middle, I think. So most played songs, and then once I get this, I'm going to bring this up. Kind of got to scroll it. It's a little. You got to hover your mouse. Oops, don't want to do that one. I want to get this one. There we go. I'll move that back. The spacing's nice. It will kind of snap there like Photoshop does. Here we go. Now I can kind of do this, and I can highlight this, get this a little bit, kind of get my colors better here. So maybe I'll go kind of a gray instead of white. I can see what white looks like. That's not bad. All right. So then I can move this in here, and I probably want that bigger. So, maybe it's about messing around with sizes, right? So something like that. Okay, pretty good. So that's nice. And then now I can go in here and I can start switching out pictures. So I don't want this picture here, but I like that size. I want to keep it there just for relationships. I'm going to go back to my uploads. Now his first most played song is All Along the Watchtower and it's on this album right here. So when I click it, it goes in there. Clearly I don't want it that size. So I'm going to grab a corner, shrink it down, getting it right about that size. And when I grab a corner, I'm going to notice what size. You see that heads up display there that tells me the size? So I'm going to pick a size for all of them. I'm going to say 180 by 180. So I'm going to do that, get it lined up here, use some of these alignment tools. And so this is his #1 most played song. So I'm going to say All Along, do the title. Oops, if I could spell right. Now, if you have a longer text here, you're going to, run into a little bit of problem, but that's okay. I'm going to leave it like that. I want to keep the sizes all the same. So that's good. Now if I go down to here, I can probably in here is where I'm giving my data. So this is where I want the first played, last played. I want 200 and whatever times played. I could delete that part and add my own text, but I kind of like that. So I'm going to command undo that. So let's see if I can go to undo. Where is that? You got to be careful on the undo here. No, I'm going to save it, by the way. All the changes were saved. Good. So where's my undo? I'm looking for that. I can't see the undo. Should be on there. Should just be Command or Control Z, but maybe not. Oh, there it is. I just wasn't clicked on it. So Command or Control Z, Command on a Mac. So then if I go in here and I say, okay, I want this data, and I'm going to hit Return. I don't want it right up next to the all along the Watchtower text. And this is going to be 2060 times played live. Okay, so that's good. So that's that. And then I can, below it, some more data. First played, so I could say first played, however I want to do that. First played with a colon, and it's January. It's kind of cool that you kind of have this. Not every band or artist has this. 1974. And then I want to give some Spotify information. So Spotify plays just to compare kind of the playing. And if I go to Spotify here, now I'm going to open up that, kind of get that thing. So this is all along the Watchtower. It's got to be one of his, you'd think it'd be #1 here on Popular. Is not #1. So it isn't even in his top 10, yet he plays it the most times. So I'm going to have to look that one up and see how many times. There it is. And we go there. And let's see if it gives me the plays on here, if I can kind of get some info on there. Oops. It's 1967 that it was written. That's interesting too. So it was 1967 that was written, but it was the first time that he had played it was 1974. So I don't think I have the amount of plays. Let me see if it usually does tell you. Okay. Got that song. Oh, there it is. 11 million. Okay, that's a lot of plays. 11,400,000. I can't copy that. I'm gonna have to write that down. 11. I'm just gonna kind of guess it. 11 million for there we go. 454,000. Okay. I probably want to write that down, right? So 11,454,000 something. Let me go back to it. Back to Spotify here. Data, live data. So you have to hover your mouse if you want to do a musical one. 454, 624. So 454, 624. That's pretty crazy, right? So pretty cool right there. So 11 million, got all that. Now, if you don't like this color, highlight that. I'm going to highlight all these things. So maybe I want to go, I'll keep the Montserrat and I'll go a little bit bigger. Maybe, it might be a little large for this graphic. There we go. And maybe I'll do the color as this gray so I can see it a little better, so I can stand out, or white. That's pretty good. You can fool around with bold and spacing and all that. So that would be my, this would be how I'd kind of do all of them now. So I want every single one to look like this. So my next song is Like a Rolling Stone, and Like a Rolling Stone comes off Highway 61 Revisited. That's this album. So if I click here, 181 by 181, you're gonna want to write these settings down. So I'm gonna make this 181 by 181 or close to it. So as long as I have it pretty close, I want something to match, right? So this is there. I'm gonna go for my widths matching. That will look better if the widths are the same. And I can bring this down, so see how I'm aligning that. We want our alignment to be really good here. So then now I'm going to go here is #2 song, Like a Rolling Stone. Oops. You're getting the idea here. Okay, and then the infographic here, this thing was 2,036 times played. Now, I'm going to copy this because I don't want to have to type all this stuff in every time. So Command C, I'm going to go down here, delete this, highlight this stuff. It's a little tough to grab it. Delete, and then paste, Command or Control V as in paste. Now it's weird, it didn't give me the size and color on this graphic, but that's okay. I can go back and switch that again in a second. So this was played 2,036 times live. And the first time was July 25th. So I can kind of do that. So July 25th and 1965. And then Spotify, I don't need to do last played. I mean, I don't think anybody cares about that. I mean, maybe they do. And then, so now I got to look up Like a Rolling Stone on Spotify. So now I know I can just do that. I'm going to go back to his popular. I want to see, that's got to be in his popular. There it is. So, okay, 180. That's a huge amount. And again, Spotify won't let me copy and paste. So I got to just kind of like, have that number in my head. So I'm going to kind of cruise over here, put that over there so I can see it still and put it on my other screen. Spotify plays, huge. This is what I love about kind of infographics is you're seeing data and you can kind of compare. Okay, he played this live, but this song's clearly the more popular song than the one above it. And he's played it less times. Not much, but he's played it less times. So 864. And then I forgot what size this was. So it was Montserrat 15 and then white. So now I want to highlight this. Montserrat 15. I can put that in there. And then white. So I just hand typed 15 if it doesn't do that. Look at that. So that's nice. So that's where you're going to go with this. So essentially you want to kind of create your infographics. You need your graphic elements, your either images or things you've drawn. You can see in this one in the template, someone had some graphics that were pre-made. You could use some of those if you need to. If there's some graphics in Canva that you can use, go ahead and use them. But if you can go and find images on the internet for whatever your data is that you're collecting, whatever your topic is, please do that. So have all of your stuff ready. Once you're done with this, so let's say I was done, right? Because I think you've got this. I think we got the idea here, right? And I'll continue this out and post it for you, but I don't think you need to see me do every single one of these. But it's really easy to switch any of this stuff, right? This right here, if you need to change numbers, if you even need to go change templates after the fact. I like this template, but let's say I wanted to go change templates after the fact, I could do that, right? And it will change that. So I'm going to not do that. I'm going to undo and see if that will let me go. Nope, there I go. Okay, so I undo it. I don't want that template. But maybe mess around with some templates before you kind of decide, oh, I don't like that one. Okay, so let's say that you were done, right? I think you don't need to see the rest of this, but so let's say you were done. Now, here's where the pay model kind of comes in. This is where Canva kind of gets you a little bit. We're gonna kind of step around this just a tad. Is that there's this download button, and you're like, hey, I would like to download this. As soon as you do that, you have to pay for any downloads. Unfortunately, right? One-time use. They're like, hey, I want to, pay certain amounts of money. I don't want to pay $1 to download that. I mean, they have all the file types, PDF and all that stuff. So that's not really great. They have this present mode, which is kind of cool. So you can, but they want you to pay for that too. So this is where Canva's free really up until you get to these things. But if you go to preview presentation, all right, this is where we're going to kind of trick Canva a little bit. It's going to go full screen on your computer, and then you're going to do a screenshot. So I'm going to do Shift Command 4 on a Mac, and for our purposes, using this, I would do the screenshot where I drag and select. It's going to be just slightly, depends on your screen size. My screen size is not giving me. It's a little bit smaller than I really want, but it'll do the trick for what we're doing. So then I've got a screenshot. I'm going to escape out of this thing. And my screenshot then is on my downloads, right? So if you're on a PC or Mac, you want to just do your screenshot. Where is it? It's in here in my downloads. No. Where'd it go? Oh, screenshots. So there it is. So it's in my screenshots right here, and there it is. And this screenshot is what I'm going to want you to upload, so you have two of them. So you can, we're kind of cheating the system here. It's not as high res as obviously if you're going to do this, but it'll look cool. It's still going to look good, and for our purposes, it's going to great. So you're going to upload this to Behance, and you're going to upload to Canvas, or put a link in Canvas on the assignment to Behance. For me to give you a grade, I have to have something, of course, uploaded to Canvas. It could be a comment link with your attachment, but I'd like it in both places. This is small enough to upload, and you're going to do two of them. You upload them both to Canvas to the assignment. So that's kind of how you use Canva. It's, again, you don't need to pay for anything. You can just do that screenshot. So basically, again, I go here, I go to Present, and Preview Presentation, and that just gives me that full screen deal, and then do a screenshot of this. So on a PC, I forget what it is on a PC, the shortcut, but if you're on a PC, you probably know it. And on here, Shift Command 4 is your, Shift Command 4 is the keyboard shortcut, gives you this little deal here on a Mac, and then you can drag select. So that's how you'd make that screenshot. All right, and then there it is right there, showing up as a screenshot there. You can save it and do all that stuff. All right. So that has been our tutorial on using Canva to make your first infographics. Again, you're making two of these for assignment number 1213, and good luck on that, and we will have those, look for that due date within Canvas in the modules. All right, we'll see you next time.